Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's episode is going to focus around 1982 Lincoln cent and the difference between a large date and a small date. The reason I'm doing this is because there's quite a bit of hype about a 1982 small date from the Denver Mint that was found in the copper variety. This is a coin that was never supposed to have been minted in the first place. But after 34 years, someone found one. So now everybody and their brother is weighing every single 1982 coin that they come across. And hopefully this can help clear up a little bit of the confusion. So we'll get right to it here. First off, we'll look at the diagnostics between large date and small date. Now, you can Google this 1982 small date, large date, however you want to slice it. But you can Google this and pull up hundreds and hundreds of images, and there really is no comparison. The biggest tell for these coins is the number 2. Okay, if you look at the number 2 on the large date, it's kind of weird looking. I've never seen a 2 really made like this, but I'm not sure where they got the font for this one. Versus the small date, which is actually the more normal looking 2. The 2 I was taught to draw or write when I was in school. So that's the biggest tell. Another tell is the distance from the rim. Okay, we'll click on this here, but I hate those pop-ups. So if you look at these pictures here on the small date, you'll notice the distance from the 2 to the rim of the coin is much greater than the distance from the 2 on the large date. Okay, obverse die variety number 32. Obverse die variety number 31. That's what these numbers and letters mean here. So that's where we're at. I mean, the diagnostics are pretty simple. Once you see the difference, you really should never forget. Okay, so the reason for all the hype. Well, first of all, I'm jumping the gun here. There are 7 normal business strike varieties for 1982. This was a transition year where they went from the copper to the copper-plated zinc. So you have the copper-plated zinc, and you also have large date and small date. So there's a bunch of different combinations here. So we'll go through these here. You have a 1982 large date copper. That's going to weigh 3.1 grams. 82 large date copper-plated zinc, 2.5 grams. Okay, there's quite a bit of weight difference between the 2. Now you have a small date copper plated zinc, and these are all from the Philadelphia Mint. Okay. Now from Denver you have large date copper plated zinc, and small date copper plated zinc. They never intentionally minted a small date copper. And that's in Denver. So recently, there has been found a 1982 Denver Mint small date copper. So these things happen once in a while. Blanks or planchets get stuck in the machinery and fall back in. These ones I truly believe are unintentional errors. And there are certain things that I think are intentional. There's really no way for them to happen, in my opinion, naturally. But, you know, when you have 2 different types of planchets being struck in the same year, there's obviously a little bit of margin for error here. So I do truly believe these are unintentional errors, and they are out there. There's been a few new discoveries recently that are exploding on the market, like the 83 copper, 83D copper, and if you can find copper planchets in 1983, you sure as hell can find them in 1982 as well. So let's take a closer look at this. By the way, this article was written by Mr. Ken Potter. He's a great guy. I talked to him quite a bit on Facebook. He's a nature lover like myself, and he also loves coins also like myself. Very friendly guy. Look him up. So he wrote this article. I'm not going to go through the whole article here, but the picture shows the 82 large date Denver Mint copper cent, which is completely normal. But then we have the 82 small date Denver Mint copper coin. Now, you know, some people could say, well, maybe they pushed this metal over. They pushed the two. This is a common thing back in the day. They would actually push metal to create mint marks. You know, 1909S, Mercury Dime, the 1916D. A local coin shop actually had one of those where somebody pushed metal and created a Denver mint mark on that coin. And to the naked eye, it looks legit until you put it under the loupe or a microscope and you can see what was done. But in this case, if you notice the distance, this is why it's so important to look at all angles when you're trying to diagnose these things. If you look at the distance between the rim from the two, there's no way someone fudged this one. Okay, this is obviously a real small date coin. Okay, does not look like the mint mark was applied. This mint mark is correct for 82 small date Denver Mint, and obviously by weighing it, it's also 3.1 grams or real close. So these are the big boys. These are the huge discoveries that are worth thousands of dollars. But folks, you got to do the research. You got to know the difference, first of all, between the large date and small date. I see on all these groups everybody's posting 1982 coins thinking that they have the big one, but 9 times out of 10 it's not even a small date coin. So do the research, read the articles, get to know the people. All of this stuff is important. I think I'm going to do a few different videos on the small date versus large date, because there's a few different years that have that same thing, and I see the questions a lot, but the 1982 is just overwhelming in the Facebook group. So I thank you for your time today, folks, and hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something.